Good morning, everybody, and instead of Tooltip Tuesday, I'm actually going to work on a layout using the Sunglasses Border Maker cartridge. What you see me doing here is cutting strips for the layout. These are 2 inches by 6 inches, and my plan is to put them on the bottom of my paper. Now I'm cutting mats. These are 3.5 by 5.5 inches, and I'll put those at the top of my layout, and then I'm planning to use the Border Maker cartridge in the middle. I'm gutting a 1-inch frame, and then I'm going to lay a lighter color on top, cutting off a 1/2 inch so that it'll lay perfectly on my mount. And that's what you see me doing here. The next thing I'm going to do is start laying out the strips across the bottom, figuring out what order I want them to go. And then you'll see me add the mats to the top. What I quickly realize is I don't have enough white space. So I cut down my top to 3.5 by 5 and my bottom to 2 by 4. Now I'm working on the border that will go across the center. I started with a white strip that's 1.5 inches long, and now I'm using a decorative blade, and I've cut a 1.25 inch strip to put in the middle, followed finally by a 1-inch strip for the base of my Border Maker cartridges, which I'm cutting out in 3 separate colors so that I can overlay them on my border. This is one of the fun techniques you can use when you have a chain style border punch. You can cut them and layer them up in different colors, in the same colors, add a shadow. It's just a fun technique to use with a chain. Now I've brought in my left-hand page and I'm adding my strips. I didn't want it to be in the exact same arrangement as the other side, so I've changed that. I've added in my mats, and now I'm looking for a title, and then I stumble upon this, which has the sunglasses on it, and so it's perfect. As always, I have a white base on a white decorative paper, and I didn't like that, so in order to help, I'm inking all of my decorative pages. I do this a lot when I have designer papers that I don't feel like are getting enough attention and that they need a little bit of a pop. I'm not going to make you watch all of it. Now I'm adhering my border. I'm putting the red strip on the white, and then the white on the red, and then finally I will add the 3 chains to the center. And I'll be honest, I'm not loving the white and the white. I live with it for a little while, but I end up changing it out to a patterned paper, and I'm not sure if I show you changing it out, but that does get changed. Now I'm going to start assembling my page. I start with the mats on the top, and I do the left-hand side, then I'll do the right-hand side, and then that helps me perfectly place the one in the middle. I don't use a ruler, but I do use the measurements on my mat. I'll do the same thing with the strips on the bottom. I'll start with the left-hand side, then I'll do the right-hand side, and then I'll do the center, and that helps me to perfectly place the 2 in the middle. I'm still looking at that border in the center, and I'm just really not loving the white on white. I do this a lot. I'll just let something live on a page for a while until I finally get to where I have nothing left to do, and then I change things out. And that's what you see me doing here. I remove the white border because I really don't like it. What you didn't see is that I've now put it on a decorative piece of paper that I inked around the edge, and I just like that much better. Now I'm going to start assembling the right-hand side, laying out my strips. I didn't want the order to be exactly the same as on the right-hand side, so I did mix it up. Then I will add some mats and my border and my title. I'm not sure if you can really see the border very well, but I like to be able to layer up my chains. It just gives dimension, especially if you use a darker color. It'll just add a little bit of pop to your chain element. Here's my mat. I originally cut it by 3.5 so that the other side would still be good, and now I'm just playing. I'm moving things around, trying to figure out exactly where I like it. I have everything adhered down, and now we're to the embellishing part. And this is literally me just auditioning different elements in different places, trying to figure out what I like. I have a circle. Unfortunately, it was not on the camera, and I'm just sticking whatever stickers I have left on it to make it pop. But I still feel like things are hidden a little bit. And then I found this laser border that I could cut and use the leaves. And I thought, oh, this will give it some more green in my layout, and it'll help my embellishment clusters to pop off the page. And so that's what I'm doing now, is I'm adding leaves into all of my clusters. So I have a cluster in the center on the right, a cluster at the top in the middle, and I'm sort of adding a cluster. It could have probably been a little bit over more to the left, but I liked it where it ended up. I built it out a little bit. And again, I'm just auditioning stickers. I'm auditioning the little bits and pieces that I have left from this collection. I try and make sure that I have the same colors in all 3 of my clusters. So I have red, yellow, green, and pink. And this is pretty much it. I'd love to see your example of a chain border, and I hope you have a great week.